Wrexham look to make it the holy trinity of promotions to League 2, League 1 and now the Championship, as they sit very close, but close enough isn't good for Parkinson, with Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds desperate for promotion as they've signed a lot of players this year, hoping to take Tom Brady's Birmingham, their rivals, down. And they've needed a new manager to do that, so I'm going to step in to try and make Wrexham the world's greatest team. As yes, people, here we are, a short intro, because you all know the story by now, of this team, Wrexham, owned by McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, who are trying to lift this team to the Premier League, but it's definitely going to need some work to it. Is it the worst for its level? No, and we do have quite a few injuries, as our best player is Dobson, then Matty James, then Paul Mullin, Rathbone, Okonkwo, and James McLean. Not a big fan. And not a big fan of the ages. We've got a lot of aging players here. And one of the best going, Jordan Davis, on loan at Grimsby. My beloved team. There it is, the shirt in the background. Gotta put my allegiances behind us, unfortunately, and look to the future as objectives with Wrexham. 3 Welsh players, and that's classed as the easy one. As the harder ones, an even more obscure nation than Wales, it is to have 3 players from Canada/the USA. As then our hard objective today, of course, has to be win the Champions League. And then a locked objective, you'll just have to be patient on that one. As we might not be patient for signings, then again the budget says otherwise. £2 million for Wrexham is a shambles. And again, we don't need youth players, so at least we've got flexibility. And let's face it, we can sell any players, but we are starting straight away with the objective, so we do need some Canadians and USA players in here. And we do have 3 Irish, but no players from Wales. 2 Scottish on the bench, but again, no Welsh to be seen. In fact, only 2 players, and they are both in the academy, so this team needs shifting around. We've got to make at least 6 signings. And change this formation, as I'm just going to get the ball rolling with Wrexham. This has to be long term, and we've got to think signing-wise. As come on, 36 players. We definitely don't need that many anyway. Could be 1 in, 1 out, as I'm going to look to offload some old players. And in fact, Jordan Davis, he could actually just return from Grimsby. Hate to do it to my own club, but we do need the Welshman. Rob and Ryan have some objectives for us, and that's nationality-based. So I've got to think strategically as the next thought, free agents. Wrexham done it a lot in the past, and another central midfielder isn't ideal. But Joe Morrell, a bit of a hero at this level. Or maybe not even a hero, but he's definitely been around it a while, so I'm going to take him on. Hopefully does well for the Welsh club. Not done there though, as this could be a tricky one. But Alejandro Zendejas, I don't think we'll sign him just yet. His wage is too expensive, as money could definitely be an issue because we're selling some of our players and we're not getting much in return. Only 2 million made, and I think we've sold 3 players overall. Yeah, we're not going to do it. I think we've got to use our heads a bit more. Not just go for free agents, but utilize the academy. With Smith already a scout, and I'm going to employ Theodore Howe. As Smith is going to be going to Wales, I know this isn't Hollywood-esque. They'd probably spend loads of money, but at the moment, they don't have any. Probably all the signings before me, as do I go USA or Canada. I'll go USA this year just because of Pulisic, McKennie. Them type of players are the ones that I want. As I'm gonna stick with this lineup, only Morrell jumps in ahead of Lee, and I am not touching tactics season 1 because I trust the players and I don't want to put pressure on the youth we have to bring through, as they will be on the bench season 1, a very mixed season, but there are 3 Americans with 2 Welsh behind them. Been very surprised to how hard this first season's been. With Wrexham, look at the ratings, only Dobson's gone up to a 70. That's not championship level. That's not the level we actually set ourselves. And it looks like the youth haven't done good. I mean, White is the highest rated. And he's been sat on the bench as our top scorer was Paul Mullin. And I guess a little shining star is Mo Farl. 10 goals. As the next thing I'm going to show you might shock you, we've got 39 players. So what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to release a lot of them, including Mendy, who's been a hero. He was here in the National League days. We've got Jack Marriott, who started at a 68 rated. But look at that. The first 5 are strikers, and they're aging ones, or they're just youth players that aren't really going anywhere. Plus, we're bringing our own youth through, as they haven't played much, and I didn't expect them to. Just put them there as the objectives, as the first team is stinky. 250 rated in Palmer and McLean. This Wrexham team is old. We really need to sort this out. Next season should get easier, as this season's a disastrous one. 16th in League One, when the team was aiming for a back-to-back-to-back promotion. Terrible. I mean, Stockport's down here, Charlton were eventually down there. At least we get rid of big hitters Birmingham and Huddersfield. But yeah, this first season, at least with all the players leaving from them contracts, we should get more money to sort this mess out and get some actual younger players in who were good enough, as the 4th round of the FA Cup lost to Blackburn and a first round loss to Sunderland in the Carabao Cup. As United won both things, and you can tell we're getting very unlucky. We were out in round 3 of the BSM, which I thought would go far in. We've got to recover next season, and I think the only way we can do that is if you guys leave a like, smash that like button, and subscribe. I'm not one for making excuses up, but I'm definitely going to make 2 up. We had horrific injuries all season, and we have harsh objectives. Had to make the objectives hard, because of course we're coaching Wrexham as £9 million. In the middle, it says $1 billion. I think I've spotted what glitches the game. I think it's when I release a lot of players at once. There's only 26 at the squad now. It has took our budget up. And it's made a lot of things easier. Now we know we have the players on the bench we need to have, but still, could we improve them further? As what I'm going to do is I'm going to try again. I am going to send my scouts out. The first one to Wales and the second one to Canada. Hopefully getting better this year. And we do have 2 players worthy of a bench position. Harry Broderick is a Welshman and Curtis James is also Welsh. So Welsh we might be okay for. I think it's Canadian and American we might struggle for. As I'm not going to struggle with tactics this season, I'm getting stuck in. We have a lot of central players here and not many defenders. So I'm going 4-3-1-2 with a tiki-taka play style. And I'm going to use this team. I'm actually going to change it to a diamond for Dobson. Looking a lot better than last year and especially a lot younger. On the bench, we've got the Welsh players, Davies, Broderick and James. And we do have one American who will get that 9th bench position. So we look for 2 American players who need to fit in the first team with $8 million to spend. And of course, they could be from Canada as well. As firstly, well, I'm looking for an instant cam in that position. And he is actually a free agent, an American in Dwayne Holmes. Zendejas from last season actually did find a new club for himself. So we've had to go with another free agent, but our last one so far, or until far in the future, because I don't plan on any more. With Holmes now into the team and $8 million for 1 position, or 1 objective position. We just need 1 American into the first team, and we could knock our left back out. Noah Allen looks a decent potential player. Oh, but they won't speak to us unless we pay his release clause. And no chance on that. I'm not wasting £7 million on him. As I've found a player who's better. This guy, Caleb Wiley, who we have to pay a release clause for, but this man, 4.5 million. Plus, he's a lot better. And yes, his wage did cost a lot. But so glad to have him. He fits into our new 4-1-2-1-2, leaving us 3 million spare. And I think I've been really good with it. Another high wage. But this striker, Max Dean, a player that hasn't worked out in the past for me. I believe I've signed him twice already this year. Didn't even score a goal or play a game. He's been that bad. But here he's one of the highest rated alongside Dobson, Wiley and Okonkwo. Then on the bench, we've got some growth, not only in our Welsh lads, little growth in White, but Brunt, this centre-back, we could put him into that team, and that looks championship worthy. Only 2 players below 70 now, and I did just see a good loan player. I went pretty ham with our loanees, as Seb, and Clearworth. They've done well for themselves. We've got Thomas, who's gone to Crawley. We're trying to get the best out of our Welsh and Americans from last year. Struggling with American players, though, as aren't we struggling in the league? We'll judge him by goals. I mean, when Max Dean gets 11, you know you must have done decently, as yes, we've done it. 12 defeats is a lot, but still, Wrexham win League One. It took us an extra season. Yes, I didn't want to fail that promotion, but we've got it, get in, and we're doing it with a first place finish, which is brilliant stuff, as what a surprising FA Cup finale that is. Disappointing from a Wrexham point of view to see Sheffield United in the finale. As you just saw, we lost to Rotherham, as I can't believe what Brentford are doing. All the smaller clubs, as Villa, they beat us 4-2 in that 4th round in the BSM. I didn't even realise Plymouth got relegated. Wayne Rooney picks up a trophy, a 1-0 win over Stevenage. As we lost in the group stages, I mean, goal difference actually put us out of it. As hopefully not here again, as we travel to the Championship. Beginning to look a lot like the Wrexham I expected, as we haven't got our loanies back. But the squad is looking thinner, and I believe better still. We'll get Clearworth back for that right centre-back slot, and I'm not looking at replacing Barnett. I'm looking into our midfield, because look at the ages, the youngest 28. In Dobson, and oh my, this is actually more concerning than I initially thought, because we've still got a lot of old players. Then again, we have a budget worthy of survival at least, maybe worthy of promotion, 10 million for the Red Dragons. As yeah, midfielder needed. We've actually got one going to play for Wales, but I think a hack we could do is down here in the goalkeeper position. White, one of our American players on the bench, not impressed with him. So I'm going to use my head again, get an American bench goalie in Anderson, and forgive me, I know it's another free agent signing, but this man will count as an American and probably won't play at all, allowing us to put him onto the bench and now move White off it, do a little shuffle around to get Mo Fall as a bench striker, and hopefully more game time as around 9-ish million after contracts, as I'm not looking at any nation in particular, but I am looking for a cam, and I'm going to the Bundesliga too for someone to stand out, as we have Bilal at Hamburg. He's okay, but you know, I think I've found a better player in the 3rd division of Germany, and he goes by the name of Antonio Forti, a Cypriot from Dortmund's B team. It's a shame it's not Gio Reyna with the USA nationality, but I don't mind it, he will grow. He's of course younger than Gio Reyna. As do we really trust Clearworth there? I mean, he's not back from his loan spell yet. I might have to call him back, see if we do get an increase in his rating when he returns, and a 70. Perfect, right, he's going into the squad. What about Seb Revan? If he could go to a 70, he doesn't, as I could have actually changed him to a right back. A little waste of money, which I'm not happy with, as I'm going obscure nations, looking for real life players because I don't just want to go down the regen route. It's not something Wrexham have done. They've gone for wiser players, and you can't get much wiser than James Tavernier. Now I've got a little bit of thinking behind this. 1.4 million from Rangers. Do I think we'll get into the Prem this season? Definitely not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save a lot of our transfer budget, sign the veteran player, and hopefully this team stays up. Bloody budgeting with Wrexham. Not what I expected to be doing, as this is how the team looks. The end of the season, definitely championship worthy. And with the happiness around the squad, I believe we have stayed in this league. Only one thing I'm unhappy about, and that is Paul Mullin. Now pulling up with his age, as we've pulled out a brilliant player here, Shane White, who I loaned out the USA International, or should be international now. He's 73 rated, and he was terrible on our bench. We literally tried to get him out by signing that other keeper, as Ethan Birdie's 70 rated from his loan. But this team's beautiful, apart from Mullin going down in his rating, but still 21 goals. Unreal, as we did some training. Yes, we just signed Tavernier for cheaper, trying to replace him in the long term with hopefully Seb Revan. I know he's left-footed, but it would save us paying for a right back. And then Joe Morrell, jumps 2 ratings as a centre mid. If only he bloody did that before he reached the age of 32, as Charlton chased us up the leagues as we finish high up in this league. 9th in the Championship, not bad at all, as Leeds and Bournemouth, at least we do get rid of 2 strong teams. To the Premier League, as next year we should be going for that ourselves, as I haven't played the final of the FA Cup. Go on, Fulham. I'll root for the underdogs as we lost in the 3rd round to Everton, and a first round loss in the Carabao to Bromley. Little bit embarrassing. It was won by Manchester City, as how many goals in comparison to the other strikers like Jovic and Richarlison did Paul Mullin get? I'm surprised they're in this league, but hey, Mullin got 20 and 6th highest scorer, which in the Championship isn't so bad at all, but he's gonna have to realistically go because we can't use a 32-year-old, especially with a player 1 rating less on the bench at 24 than our youth player the same rating and Welsh in Broderick. In fact, dare I do it to the club legend, cause I know he's been brilliant for them, but transfer listed Mullin. There, I've gone ahead and done it. Realistically won't get played, as now let's go to our youth players. Ones that have come on, as I'm going to train Bird as a cam, and White don't need no training. He looks the perfect centre-back. The only problem at the moment is we've got Brunt and Cleworth. Both absolutely brilliantly. The only thing is we could sell one of those, with White being American and he could step into the first team, as he'll definitely step onto the bench. We can actually take Mo Farl off it as well. And maybe do this. Maybe put White in, move Brunt forward. Go and get another centre mid for the future. We don't need to think about right back. And then go and get a striker. Maybe worthy of a promotion. Because at the moment, Broderick, I don't think he actually starts games. Needs someone with a bit of experience, and Jadon Dance has that. At Liverpool in the Premier Leagues, I'm pretty sure I saw his contract was running out, so can we get him a lot cheaper? Yes, but his contract cost a lot of money. But here he is, the Liverpool legend youngster who should be a loanee. Very surprised they got him out permanently, but his wages, what an issue they were. As at least he goes into the team ahead of Paul Mullin, leaving us 104k. Yes, I didn't check the budget at the start. 8 million at this level? I thought we'd get more by saving more. Looks like the owners took their cut, as could we try and cut corners as well? As on the bench, 3 Americans and 2 will be added to the bench. Welshmen, that is, and we do have Joe Morrell as well. So I've actually got a plan for this very quick start of season. I'm going to make it one signing, with Dan's being the only one, and loan out Harry Broderick to hopefully grow his overall. I think that is the most logical play, and yes, I'm showing you the team a lot, but at least it's the end of the season. We've got some very decent ratings in here. 3 over 80. I'm going to make a change at right back. That's all over 75 apart from one player, bloody Rathbone. Needs to step it up, as, oh my days, our loan-in system is absolutely brilliant. Harry Broderick's an 82. How is that even possible? I don't know. He's just had growth at LA Galaxy over in the Eredivisie. Not the Eredivisie, what am I talking about? Talking too quick, I'm leaving my brain behind. Of course, it's the MLS, as over in Scotland is Mo Farl. Why have they gone up so much though? We actually cannot see their stats, as Mullin scores the most. When will that man just retire? It's about time he goes and does, as Tavernier will be going and doing that. Either this year or next, I don't know. I didn't sign his contract back up. We are leaving him thoroughly behind, but I didn't change Brunty around, as a CDM, he is another 80 rated player. Surprised he became that good, as Bird hasn't upped his shooting, so maybe not there yet, but he's gonna be a good backup cam, or even first choice. I can't believe what Broderick's done, but we've got him back for the Premier League as we finish second in the Championship. No trophy, fair enough, but look at the playoff teams. You've got Luton, Ipswich, Middlesbrough and Everton missing out. Not to forget Hull as well. We rebuilt them last time on the channel, as we demolished Burnley in the round 6 of the FA Cup. Or the quarters, as guess what? We did reach the final, and as a Championship team, we win the FA Cup. First time it's ever happened, and in this save with Wrexham, I think each and every season apart from a few, it's been a lower club. Winning the trophies as Aston Villa, no offence, I mean a lower club as in not money rich or top 6. As Villa win the Carabao. They're another example as we went and lost to Millwall, but I think I'll just be fine with that. We won the FA Cup, we're in the Premier League. We've got strikers growing like so. Maybe winning the FA Cup just helped him somehow. I don't know FIFA logics, but still, we've done very good. And if I'm not mistaken, as we'll move Mullin back, Broderick, oh my days, he's playing for Wales. He's now 83 overall. But shouldn't we be in the Champions League or Europa League, sorry, for winning the FA Cup? A fast track, but we're going to try and win that competition. With Rathbone being the only player that severely needs replacing in this team. Maybe we could do it straight away with Dobson, but he is out of position. And Morrell could go soon because he's 31, 75 rated. Just midfielders needed, and if we could go Welsh or American, that would do us some good, as I'm expecting a big budget. 51 million is enough for promotion on its own, but when we've reached the Premier League as well, come on, I expected more money. But midfielder, maybe a bench centre-back? Now, Brunty's change position is needed as a Welshman. Perfect, 15.5, Jordan James. You've got yourself a new club mate, and yes, it's more than I wanted to pay, but he just signed a new contract. Still, he's a good player to have, as I think the first time in this save with a Welsh team. When you look at the team on paper, there is 3 Welsh internationals in it. As it's time to go stateside, I'm going to look at a centre-back first, you know. I think this could be good. Maybe Carter Vickers for longevity. Come on, we shouldn't take more than 6 seasons to reach the Prem, so he should not retire. Plus, his contract's running out, and for the first season, could replace Clayworth. Experienced at winning with Celtic, playing in England with his numerous loan deals. As wasn't he at Tottenham, the 30-year-old beast of a player. As is that us done as well. We've got 15 million left, you know, and I might go another centre-back, might loan out Clearworth. Then again, is it more logical to sign a younger centre-mid to replace Rathbone on the bench or in the first team? If they can grow as one team that did get relegated, Everton, and we've got to sweep in for some of their good players. Failing to get promoted, and oh my days, why didn't I go here first? Doyle, Garner, Zafiris, who we can't afford. Probably butchered the name, but when I do take it off just centre mids, Ismail Doucouré does look a sensible option. But no, we couldn't afford him, because look at the money we've actually got left. Not much money at all. We're gonna have to look for a younger player. As there has been one nation we've been leaving out of our nation game, we've got Welshmen, Americans, now it's time for a Canadian. Welcome Campbell, 20-year-old, 74 rated. And yes, a DM for now, but we will train him into a different position. Probably get him ready as a centre mid, as no expectations on us this season. Just gotta stay in the Prem, and hopefully reach the group stages of the Europa League. As what's Europe done to us? Well, it's not really improved what we currently had. In Broderick up 1, a little bit of a shame after his recent growth. Then again, we've got Max Dean doing well. Fotty, James and Brunt. It is Morrell, the new captain. The Welshman, now 32 years old, who needs to play a little catch-up. The defence is absolutely beautiful. Apart from Seb Revan, ex-Grimsby, now 25-year-old. Jaden Dans as our backup striker, 81. So we've got good front men. And nobody out on loan this year. So yes, no growth we haven't seen yet. As goal scorers this season in the Premier League, madness! Our 4th choice goal scorer, Mo Fall, scores 80. Unbelievable. I mean, we could sell him next season. Should get a bit more money for him now. As contract-wise as well, only 1 player will be running out. We have done very well on that front, as I can't believe what I might be seeing. Yes, Mo Fall on the top scorers ahead of Ollie Watkins. Unreal is that, as then we didn't go down. We were clearly up 11th in the Premier League with our team roundabout right. As any cup competitions this year, well, I just thought that was the FA Cup again. Forgot about the Community Shield, and we don't go ahead and bag it. Goes to Chelsea, as then Newcastle and Man City in the FA Cup finale. Lost our rights to call us champions, as we went and lost to Fulham. Saw Grimsby got a win there, as round of 16 exit in the Carabao Cup. Gone ahead and won by United, who I believe we're in the Europa League. With us, but I'm wrong. It was Manchester City. There's Inter here. A lot of difficult clubs as we go and finish 10th still, which did put us into the next round. We had to beat Lech Poznan on pens, and then we lost to LASK. A little bit disappointed with that run. Surely we did better, but then again, after our first season in the Prem, this is where our huge secret objective comes in. I'm going to make this very difficult. Because we had a very good season, Wrexham now have to sign a Ballon d'Or nominee. Yes, the owners are being impatient. They've got their Canadians, Welshmen and USA internationals. Still, they want to go ahead and join the elites of football. Signing one of the world's best players. Could it be Jude in that midfield? Could it be Kylian Mbappe up front? I believe he was nominated. Gonna have to look at the list again, but we are going off last season. The 2024 nominees, which Rodri went ahead and won, as he's currently 33. A little bit on the cheap side at Manchester City, who did finish in the Europa League, so maybe we could pull from them. We've got to try hard to try and sign one of the best as 53 million. Right, we might actually have to sell a player to get this good one in, and we'll have to sell a player for some money, as I am thinking striker, so maybe Broderick or Dean goes. As why is Anderson in net as well? Don't tell me we've lost him. Oh my days, we haven't. Okonkwo. I got really scared for some reason, even though I know we'd never sold him, as I think my job is done for me. Max Dean's put himself on the transfer list, and of course I want to keep the Welshman Broderick. Also could sell Mo Fall because we do have another striker, Jayden Danns. And our third choice whilst we're at it, selling these main players, is going to be Mullin. As look at the bids we've got in. 39 million from City for Antonio Foti. 36 million for Okonkwo, who I haven't given his justice. Been here from day one, and that deserves more recognition than it's got. Then 110 million, 0.2 for Max Dean. Yes, you'll tell by the side right there, I did try and negotiate with Chelsea, and with the amount of money they've wasted, you can just tell they're willing to pay anything. So goodbye for the third time, Max Dean. I'm taking that 110 million. I'm going to run with it and look for a player worthy of being in our team. As do we change formation or do we buy a striker? As we've got 151 million. And you know, I've got my thoughts in my head. And we're going to sign a good one as the one that was most popular up here. Erling Braut Haaland, because I knew he wasn't at Manchester City. The fact he's moved before enlightens me, because I know he might be willing to leave. And judging by the price at the side, his contract must be expiring. As ladies and gentlemen, with every penny we had in the bank, welcome to Wrexham, Erling Haaland. Seriously, Haaland at Wrexham. It is phenomenal. He is 29-year-old, but I'm not watching his age at all. The only time I'll bloody mention it, I will mention Joe Morrells, because it's obvious where we sign next year. Him and Carter Vickers the weakest. Age-wise, as again, nobody bloody leaves the club. And it looks like having Haaland improves the youth player at the side of him, Broderick. Who wins the Golden Boot, though, at the club between both of them? Well, Broderick got 15, but there's no beating Erling Haaland. 23 for me, though, seems low. Look at the scorers. Haaland finished third behind top scorer Max Dean, the man we sold to get Haaland. It's unbelievable we actually did that exchange. As we've exchanged places in the league, because Chelsea first, we have to settle for second. Sure, Haaland's brought us up a lot, but honestly, can you imagine it? Selling an 83 rated, replacing him with the 93 and still the 83 rated, coming out on top as he's also won the bloody FA Cup as Max. Definitely not jealous as we got beat by Mansfield. They will be laughing at that all day long, but at least we don't have to be jealous of this one, the Carabao Cup, because us, Wrexham, have won it. And just like the FA Cup, now the Carabao enters the cabinet, as that would have put us in the Conference League, but of course we're going to the Champions League. As this season, I'm desperate to see the budget. We got the Champions League. I've just done an important contract in Okonkwo and 97 million. It's not Haaland money again, but we've already got Erling at the club. Two very good strikers we could sell at any time to receive some money. Look at those. They're both on international duty. And Broderick could grow to be better than Haaland, as Footy behind them isn't too cracking. Then again, Joe Morrell, we have to replace the Welshman, who will still have to be on the bench, though, to make sure we get the Welsh players in the squad. All of them on the bench, and then Carter Vickers. He's probably out next season. 32-year-old. Come on, he's not going to last very much longer. Then again, he did have the pace, and hopefully these players do the business. These Americans on the bench as Ethan Bird, now a 76, and Mark Campbell will stay as a 75 as a centre mid, but I am glad to get them changed around, and I think we don't need bench players, really. Them two will be settled. We've got a brilliant striker, a brilliant centre-back, another brilliant striker who we could sell at any moment. He's not scoring all the goals now, and we don't really need to go for any nationality. We've got all the free rein in the world, as I think I'm going back to Everton. We've got to pick up one of these players. Tommy Doyle, 28-year-old. Yes, Christos Zafaridis. He looks the youngest out the bunch. But at his rating, I don't really want him. And I don't really want any other championship player. None of them really gripping me, so I think I'm gonna play this strategically. I said we didn't need a bench player, but Marlon Gomez coming in for relatively cheap, then again, 10 million more than I did initially expect, gives us a chance to look at the bench because, come on, Barnett and Anderson aren't championship quality, never mind Premier League, as the first one, Stefan Bajcetic from the championship, alongside Ryan Andrews, a right back from Bristol City also. And screw it, I've gone there again for Joe Taylor from Luton Town. Yes, it's another striker, but at least this time it's a Welshman. Just had to get another Welshman involved down here on the bench, as he's not better than Mo Fall. I can't believe his journey. Never been prioritised, same with Dobson down here, and Dan, since he come to the club, a bench player, but 84. Was in the team at one point, but when you've got the two strikers we have in Haaland, first and foremost, 30-year-old, and Broderick, who could be better than Haaland, but just not at the moment as centre-back. That's literally only weak position. Apart from another centre mid on the bench, we've got injuries through Antonio Foti, but just look at the ratings, man. Erling Haaland should carry us through to a UCL final. I don't know. He's played 57 games, scored 34 goals, and Broderick 21. 65 goal contributions between the both of them, but sad times. We've got a lot of OGs leaving, such as Elliot Lee and Paul Mullin, both 46 and 47 rated. Morrell's been a bit of a legend, same as Barnett. Bolton, hopefully going out with a UCL title for them, as it's second in the Premier League. 8 defeats, we like getting beat. It was the same as last year. Chelsea just picked us to the post, as they do in the Community Shield. 4-1 on penalties. Bloody Max Dean has no luck in the FA Cup once more. Brighton Hove Albion, are you being serious? They beat us a lot as we lost in the quarterfinals of the Carabao to Fulham, as the winners were Palace over Bournemouth. Apart from Chelsea and Man United, the top teams don't like the Cups, as we don't like the Champions League. 21st. What does that mean? For Erling Haaland and co, well, it did mean we got into a playoff round, but beaten 5-4 by the Giants in Leverkusen. And it's kind of sad that we go to another season, not because we didn't win it. 115 million to go again, and hopefully we do this time around. But because of Mullin and Lee, they won't see the trophy. And that does hit deep. But another homegrown player that could see the trophy lifted is Max Clayworth, but I didn't even mean him. I meant Jordan Davis, who retires at the end of this season. Now I've got a bit of a fond spot for this man choosing to go to Grimsby. Yes, only a loan deal, but hopefully could get him permanently. That's just hope from me. As also, one thing I didn't show you last time, I have messed with the tactics. You know me, you know my shapes. We have Haaland on the poacher, but if you really know me liking my shapes, I like to just hide the formation as something else. And I showed you like that, but it was supposed to be different. Brunt was supposed to go to centre-back. In a 3-5-3, there's not many options for a Welsh playmaker. For the bench, so we go American, and I do want to kind of cheap this with Weston McKennie, just a cheap option to replace Dobson. Comes back to England after his amazing stint at Leeds United. And he's important to this team, even though he's just a bench player, because Carter Vickers next out of the team. As where has Okonkwo gone? Has he lost again? No! I don't know why he keeps doing this. Putting him in the reserves, as do we really sell Carter Vickers? Well, I don't want him getting game time. That's the sole reason. We don't need the money. Though no one wants to bid for him. Instead, we're getting bids for our best players and our bench players wanted by Barcelona. That tells you something. That our team is that good. And seeing Barcelona reminds me. Let's go La Liga. I haven't shopped there in a while. Should have some neat and tidy centre mids. I think I'm just going to go the first one. Pablo Barrios. He's at Real Sociedad. Well, not anymore. He's now at Wrexham, which is kind of a step up. He's playing with Haaland. He's playing regularly in the Champions League. Or we're playing regularly. I hope so. Anyway. Wait, what have I done? Have I just signed a central midfielder? All my days I've derped out. I've just signed 2 central midfielders. Why have I not gone for a centre-back? What is wrong with my brain? I mean, it's fixable. Still, I definitely didn't mean to do that. Go 4-3-1-2, and hey, that could help us as a formation, as I don't even have any money left. That is a huge error. I think the first time this FC, I've had my big derp moment. A derp moment for me, but I tell you what, I've got some things right. The players that I've brought in still are good, like the midfielder. Barrios 28, 87 rated. He has been playing, and we can't really dismiss that because that's good. At least we've signed a starting player. I don't know if Brunt started, as Haaland obviously stays top scorer. If he didn't, it's kind of worrying, but he did. He played 38 games. Kind of glad we kept our other centre-back, Carter Vickers, now, who was on the bench. As this is what our team looks like, we do have a player missing. Campbell's in the lineup. Who's left? Must be someone good. Maybe that's why Brunty's been playing, and it's Marlo Gomez we lost. He goes to Liverpool, kinda like their new Fabinho. Fair enough, so Brunty must have played in the centre mid position, but we can change him back. Gonna see if it increases his rating, which it doesn't, and now I kind of regret that. That is 2 brain dirt moments, but at least we have Campbell as a replacement. Only 79 rated though, but hey, look at the league this year. Fallen off without our central midfielder to 7th. 2 90+ strikers, including Erling Haaland, and 7th. Terrible as the FA Cup again. Not a top 6 team. Potential to beat Brighton, as they always bloody beat us. And finally, winner you expect. Manchester United win the Carabao. Wish it could have been us, but we lost on penalties to Arsenal. And that is not the cup we care about. We care a lot higher. This competition, which last year we failed at miserably. As 20th in the league phase, we're almost going out again. With Haaland and our Welshman, this is embarrassing, but look at that. 4-2, okay. As long as we outscore the opposition, we should be fine, as we did do there. 5-2 against Inter. Or AC, sorry, AC. And then, in the quarter finale, a comeback against Chelsea and a penalty victory puts us into a semi-final where Haaland must haunt Bayern Munich, getting us into the UCL final. And the team that we do play is Barrios' old one, which we've just signed him from. No formation change from us. Slight advantage to them being at the Bernabeu they would have played at. Come on, they are a bloody Spanish team. As what kind of players do they have? Okay, there was Kerbasi there, their front line. Pedro, Sancho and Sule is amazing. I say amazing, I put that camera on as well. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. But yeah, we've got Haaland, we've got our striker Broderick, who I'm probably still butchering the name of, but here he goes. He can't get past his man Haaland to pick up on it. He tries to turn provider, he's offside. Unlucky, as now Foti gets a ball back into James. Come on, we've just got to try and play football. Erling Haaland, can he go alone? He has the man in support. He tries to get past Berisha. Don't know much about the goalkeeper, but I know he can be beaten. With our 2 forwards, certainly, as Haaland running at his man. That is a tackle in our favour, and it's Broderick. 1-0. The luckiest goal you will see, but it goes to one of our Welshmen. Get in. I believe the only one in the team at the moment. The other one's on the bench is Erling Haaland. I mean, that was so lucky. The tackle fell to the other striker, and he blasts it in. Great stuff as now Wiley. Come on, let's get going. The left back, the American, into James. No, come on, Jordan James. He's a Welshman, I forgot. We've actually got 2 in the starting lineup as Sule tries to get round us. Oh my days, he does kind of. And that is a clean tackle, referee. I thought he was going to give it. And I believe he's pointing to the spot. Come on, referee. That was so delayed. And it's Barrios against his former team. I think he got feet on the ball. This is a terrible decision, and this could be level. João Pedro against Okonkwo. He's been here since day one, and there was no saving that. All square on the night. Lucky goal for lucky goalers. Haaland, this should be your ballpark playing against Real Sociedad. Come on, you're used to playing against bigger clubs. No offense to Real Sociedad as... Oh my days, Sule! Did he get a red card for winning a penalty or something? I don't understand how that's gone through. They're definitely playing an offside trap. We just can't get at them through the middle, but this time maybe Haaland running at Kerbasi. Needs to just get around the youngster. The other striker caused a gap right here, and he's got the ball, has Broderick. Come on, you definitely have to pass it still. Very, very greedy. Come on, Broderick. I mean, he's terrible at passing. That's why he didn't pass it in the first place. Got to get that tackle right, White. If not, we'll have a man sent off ourselves as Haaland. I remember our first rebuild, or one of our first rebuilds of Wrexham. We won 9-0 in the finale. This one's different. We've got to get first to that ball. Got to start making a difference. Aggression. I like it, Campbell, the Canadian. As he's going to run towards the box. Erling Haaland with his hand up. We look towards the back stick. Is that handball from Ashley Phillips? Not given. As Barrios, please do not get sent off against your former club. It's a good header. 1 and 40 into Broderick. Looks for Haaland. Them two linking up. Erling Haaland gets round his man and fires into the bottom corner. Erling Braut Haaland. It was destined to happen. Wrexham take the lead again. And Hollywood hit the heights as it stands. Look at that. He opens his body up ever so slightly to just put it all the way near the post. As into the final stages now, and a ball in the box from Sociedad. It is a catch by Okonkwo, and he doesn't even get the chance to kick. The whistle is blown by the ref, and it's a 2-1 narrow win, but we take wins as they come as Haaland's Hollywood Wrexham win. And we get to see a trophy lift. Who is that? Is that Barrios straight away? Oh no, it is Brunty. Get in there. We lift the trophy, as this has been very fun, but very tricky early on. The first season was horrific. All the old players, the amount of players. A challenge is I want one from you guys. Comment down below who's next and click on my hands for more rebuilds on the channel.